Devan Carroll. I'm live in Charleston, South Carolina, and I am a real estate investor. I mainly do my main business is wholesaling. So we do nationwide wholesaling where we find motivated sellers. We essentially find the deals and then we sell those deals to investors. We essentially flip the paper. And then throughout that, I learned how to start flipping properties. I also do flip properties. I use that wholesale pipeline to kind of cherry pick my own deals that I would want to flip. We also hold some rental properties as well, and we do new construction too. So kind of have multiple tools in our tool belt. Throughout the years, we've adapted and learned more strategies to essentially make more money with the same deal. But yeah, that's what we do. We're an off-market real estate investment firm. I am a big advocate of the quote, "You got to delegate to elevate," whereas a lot of people will, like I used to be kind of a control freak where like I needed to do it to make sure it was done right. But I understood that, you know, in every business, the entrepreneur is their biggest bottleneck. So that led me to, you know, having to trust other people. But I also was reading a book once that kind of just told me to understand your superpower, what you're good at, and double down on that, right? Figure out what makes you money, what is your highest revenue generating activities, and only do those, right? So like, when I am writing up long emails or writing out drip campaigns or making cold calls or doing, you know, trying to figure out how to build a website or how to post Instagram ads, things like that, like that's not my skill set. That's not what I'm good at. So let me go. And I know what I'm good at is marketing, sales, and getting deals closed. And that's where I make most of my money, right? I'm not going to make much money by spending, 2 to 3 days trying to learn how to build a website. That's just not going to make me much money. Where like throughout all that, I determined my cost per hour, what is my time worth doing what I'm best at, and then comparing that to what I could pay someone for to do a task that I don't know how to do. And that really allowed me to look into delegating and hiring virtual assistants. And then, it's kind of trial and error. You hire some, great. And then you find that one VA that is great. And then that's your new standard, right? You said, okay, this is the bottom line. I will never hire anybody less efficient than this person. You just got to trust, and with like anything, if you don't try, nothing's going to change. You guys were very communicative throughout the whole process. Hopped on a call, explained to you guys what I was looking for, and immediately you guys had a plan for me on how you could help, right? We addressed my problem, and you guys had an immediate solution.
Right.
On how you guys were going to go ahead and implement that solution. So I think just the most important thing is, especially with virtual assistants, right? You don't know these people in person. You're trusting them. Luckily, ideally referrals. If someone else works with them, and you kind of have that mutual trust from someone having a good experience with them is really big with virtual assistants. But more the professionalism. A lot of virtual assistants, they'll have laggy Wi-Fi, or there may be a language barrier or something like that, and it makes it a lot more difficult. But just like anything, if you want to hire quality, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more. Luckily, I understand that, but I understand that because I've hired the cheaper VA who did have a language barrier, and I wasn't happy with the outcome. A website, that is something that I'm somewhat tech savvy compared to most people my age. I would not say I'm the most tech savvy, but when it comes to building a website and making stuff look good, that is not what I'm good at. The biggest value add for you guys was the website. I basically just told you guys, hey, this is the websites that I like. This is what I want it to look like. And you guys came up with a great product that kind of combined the 3 websites that I gave you guys. So that was landing platform. We send all of our clients there. Our clients get a ton of information on the history of our business, the services we provide, and client reviews as well is very huge. But more importantly, it really allowed our dispositions per our joint venture dispo program to take off, because previously we were just doing it via text message or email, and it was hard to track everything. Now we can just send a link. It explains all the services we provide, and then if they want to move forward with us, they can go ahead and submit their deal there, and then we get the info instantly. And it's just a lot more professional, builds credibility, and was definitely a huge addition to my business. Service, 1000%. I text you text me right back, no matter what you're doing. But I think the more important thing is like knowing that you guys always had an answer. If I asked you a question and you guys were, let me get back to you on that, that tells me that you're not too sure, right? But there was never a time where I had a question that you guys didn't immediately know the answer to, and that made me feel more comfortable to allow me to trust you guys and just, hey, they're the professionals, let them do this. This is what they're good at, and just put it to rest. I think more importantly, going back to like highest revenue generating activities, it freed up more of my time to go do what I'm good at and produce more revenue for the overall business. Great. I mean, if I hired a company in the US, I probably would have paid 3 to 4x the price, and it probably would have taken a lot longer. The only benefit there would have been like maybe I would have met with them in person or went into their office, but I think that's unnecessary. I'm not a person that needs to do that, where some people do want that experience. But yeah, I think the price is definitely very competitive, and the product is great. You know, you're getting a great product for you. I definitely would recommend you guys. I have recommended you guys, obviously. But you guys are great to work with. You guys are personable. You know, you guys care about me. You want to know what I'm up to. What do I like to do in my free time? It's not just a transactional business relationship. You know, I view you guys as friends. I think just the personability of it is great, as well as, you know, great customer service, great advice, and more importantly, a great product at the end of the day. It's as simple as you got to delegate to elevate. If you want to grow your business, you can't do it by yourself. If you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast, go alone, but fast isn't sustainable. So, and I'm a big advocate of doing things alone isn't that fun. You know, if I made a bunch of money and did everything by myself, it's only me and myself. You know, I don't get to celebrate with anybody or, you know, talk to people throughout the day. So definitely being collaborative and delegating is crucial to scaling a business and even just growing a business and living a happier life.